Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome back to the Dynamo. I am so cold. It's very cold here at the moment. I'm going to try to humanize myself very quickly before the pain I'm inevitably going to feel at the hands of Carlisle United. I've gone a bit further in the FA Cup. I've managed to get to, is this the third round? Huge development since we last saw each other. I had a 3-2 win against Fleetwood, which sounds more impressive than it actually is until you actually go and check out where Fleetwood are. That's to be expected. Fleetwood are having a absolute meltdown, and I just contributed to that because if you go into their season, their schedule, what would have been a bit of respite in the cup turned out to be a bloody nightmare when I just added to their misery and I just contributed to all of this. So the reason I need to humanize myself is because it's so cold. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing 3 pairs of socks at the moment. It's so cold. People who experience actual cold are laughing at me right now, but this is just how it is. They're the next game. I'm having that really annoying National League North-South problem where my form is reasonably good. I'm actually playing pretty well, but the problem is the teams around me are also playing really well, which means that it doesn't feel like I'm playing really well. Scarborough and Blythe, is it Blythe or Blythe? I never know. I'm going to call them Blythe. Blythe have basically decided they're playing as people possessed, and Scarborough, they're hurting my soul because I did a Diffuse challenge about 4 or 5 years ago and I picked Scarborough just because I like teams that play in all red. So I have a soft spot for Scarborough. And I just have this feeling that when we get, like if I don't come top and get automatic promotion, I'm going to end up in the playoff system. And I just have this horrible feeling that I'm going to draw Scarborough. And the horrible feeling isn't that I'll beat them to get qualified. The horrible feeling is they'll beat me and I'll be relegated to another fucking season in the Vanarama North. Part of the problem is I'm struggling for consistency, but it's not a player problem, it's a management problem. I haven't figured out our best tactics yet. I keep jumping between. I moved away from the 3 defensive midfielders because while defensively solid, I was finding that they were kind of figuring me out in terms of where I was controlling the middle of the park, but they were just kind of like choking the wing points and just stopping my wide players from being able to get the ball up forward to that striker. Verdun is unfortunately having a patch of bad form. You can see here, loads of goals, 2-1, 1-1, 1-1. And he's just having really bad form all of a sudden, rotating between an attacking centre mid as well as an actual attacking forward. See, the problem is I moved him away from this the supporting striker. Supporting striker, the shadow striker. Come to think of it, supporting striker is a better name for that role. I hate the concept of a shadow striker because I find the terminology of the name just does not explain what that player does. I love the concept of a supporting striker because I think he ends up playing in a more selfish number 10 role is how I describe it, when traditionally a 10 is kind of a selfless player. What they do is they put themselves into those pockets to be the player that makes other players look incredible while think of your classic like your Raquel Mays, your Ozils, Maradona, for God's sake, how do you forget the Maradona? I've heard some people tell me that what's his name, Messi is a number 10, and I'm just kind of like, Messi transcends the concept of a position. He just kind of plays wherever the goddamn hell he feels like, and wherever he feels like playing tends to be the most dangerous place on the pitch the opposition possibly wants you in. But that's the problem I'm having with Verdun is he's like I said, he's hit a bad patch. Like I brought him into the office and had a conversation with him and said, look, I want you to set a target for yourself. I really like this new feature. It's quite fun because it means you get that little bit of, you're setting targets for yourself to keep an eye on as well as actually motivating the player to get the best out of them. What I want him to do is I want him to hit a 7.0 average rating. So I have no idea where you'd even find this. Where do I find promises? Is he in the squad? Is it the dynamics promises? Where does this stuff work? Oh yeah, David O'Leary wants to leave. Not much of an issue. He's played 9 times. Or no, he's played 12 times, but it's not much of a loss. we brought him in as part of that initial recruitment push and then just like didn't hold on to him because we got better players. That's the nature of the lower leagues. Outside of that, we're not playing too badly. The reason we're on the physical stat of him, because I wanted to find out who are my strongest players, because I toyed with the idea of playing as a target forward, and I noticed Verdun, he is our strongest non-defensive player. Like O'Sullivan, Last and Tourish, they're all centre mids or centre defenders. I'm tempted to play a 3 at the back system, but the only problem is if I play a 3 at the back system, one of them gets injured, I have to revert to a 2 at the back system, and I might as well just play a 2 at the back system so that I can have one of those players on the bench if they're needed. What's his name? Finnerty, first choice centre back, absolute tank, rock. I love this man. Scored his first goal as well for the club. Couldn't be happier for him. He would be my captain if he didn't have leadership of 7. And Last and Tourish, the two of them are just battling it away for that left-sided slot. At the moment, I prefer Tourish. He is my preferred centre-back, but Stephen Last has these good patches as well. In terms of form, Last isn't playing too badly. He didn't play long enough to really be able to like influence the game to get a rating, but you see, like 6.6, 7.1, a 6.6 sounds bad. I wonder if you're the same as myself. A 6.6 just feels like he's had a shit game, but the commentators just took a liking to him. Kind of like an Andy Carroll situation there, where it's kind of like, he didn't have a good game, but damn it, he tried. He gave a good old Geordie try of it. That's how I feel about Last at times with a 6.6, where he didn't really do anything that I consider bad, or like he didn't like let in any goals. He didn't put us in terrible situations. But let's actually have a look to see if Tourish is in a better or worse form. He gets a 6.8 instead of the 6.6s. So it's in terms of playing between the two of them, Tourish is who I prefer playing at the back, which is why I have Last here apparently. Tourish, where'd you go? Actually, where did you go? Who the hell is Rory Morgan? Who are you? I don't remember signing you. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That's why I don't remember. That's why I don't know who you are. I signed you way back. Jesus, you're going to start playing in the under-19 soon. This is what happens when you don't keep an eye on your youth teams. Actually, do you want to see something funny? And by funny, I mean horrendously disappointing and soul-crushing. Let's go to our reserve team, our second team. Let's go to the fixtures and look at that. They have won one game all season. We are currently record-breaking, conceding 100 goals. I'm telling you, the first season is a write-off when it comes to my reserves, my under-19s, because I just needed a first team, and that first team is already destroying my wages. I'm like 200 above what I'm supposed to be in terms of wages. Always hurts, but look, that's just the way it is. You get over it and you deal with it. Finances are okay, which means I can afford this at the moment. We're in the middle of paying off a loan because I forget this every single time. Dublin City went into financial issues when they were a real life club and they had a €500,000 in debt that you have to service at the very beginning of the game. Completely forgot about this. But in terms of how we're actually doing, we're doing fine. We're projected to go into the millions. By millions, I mean singular million. The reason all of this looks so promising and so healthy is because I have one of the lowest wage budgets in the whole damn league. I think on average, I'm paying about 30,000 a year in terms of player salary. So, we'll get by it. Is it Wall? No, it's not Wall. It is Gamble. Gamble, God love you. No, it is Wall. Wall, God love you. You conceded 78 goals in 16 appearances. And you have a 6.9. God love you. You, in so many games, you finish with a 7 point something rating where you end up actually playing really, really well and still concede like 8 goals. I feel so bad for you and what I've done to you. I have nightmares about what I've done to Joe Wall. And the fact that he doesn't want to leave the club is like he's very happy. He's pleased with training. He has no negatives. He doesn't want to go. This man is a champion. He is a trooper. Which is why coming into this game against Carlisle, he is on my bench. Is he? What's happening? Oh, I haven't picked the bench yet. But he has to be, because in the last game against Southport, which I thought I'd win, but I didn't, Kevin Horgan got injured. I finally experienced the goalkeeper injuries. First time in any FM ever in my entire life I've had a goalkeeper injured. And what's hilarious is I always keep a goalkeeper on my bench, except in the lower leagues. When you have 5 spots, putting a goalkeeper on there just feels like an absolute waste. But this time it caught me badly, because Finnerty had to go in goal for the last 10 minutes of that game. Didn't do badly, actually. Finnerty had a decent game in goal. Did concede because Horgan went off injured in the 88th minute. But look, Joe Doyle. Oh, Joe Doyle. Joe fucking Doyle. Doyle is playing up top for me because I feel like he earned that spot. Because look, if you look down here, 10 appearances, 6 starts. If you go into reports, he's not our first choice. But look at this. He always comes on late in the game and he fucking scores goals. This man has earned his starting spot as far as I'm concerned. Absolute champion. 9 goals in the league, and most of them have come from the bench. He's a player I bring on who tends to rescue games for me, where we either get a commanding lead out of him or and even like in this, like if you go back to that last one, into the schedule, he scored in the 94th minute, brought him on as an 88th minute substitute. You know what? He's starting in the cup. But where this is getting awkward is because I just can't settle on a tactic. For a while I've been playing short passing because we have the best passing in the league. We also have the best technique in the league. But I'm thinking that that's just not really working for me with them. That might be why I'm not getting the best out of Verdun at the moment, because as we are starting to we're looking favourites for winning the league at the moment, and I think the AI managers are responding to this by playing with a more cautious mentality and not giving us space. So rather than passing it around them, I think I just need to go aggressive and force mistakes out of them, which is why I'm playing around with this wing style where, look, my best players are my wingers. And even playing into it in terms of the tactics, where I have Connolly playing a Mazzala so that I can have O'Connor, Ward and Connolly. Now, Ward, he doesn't have the most pace, but god damn it, he's been playing really well for us. All of his attributes are in creation and to being able, he makes things happen, which is why I have him playing as the advanced playmaker on that wide wing. So Connolly and O'Connor, Mazzala, complete wing back, they're going to overload that left-hand side, and Ward is going to play in and around and make himself available. And if you look at that right-hand side, you have Delap playing as a classic winger, Doyle as a poacher, Verdun as an advanced playmaker. So he's going to move into kind of a very similar role. He's going to make himself available for Delap and Kavanagh's runs. O'Sullivan is just going to be a classic 6, just sit in that hole, protect, win the ball, give it to Verdun or Connolly. Verdun, I need to find his position, because when he eventually, because Jesse Denvers is hurting my soul, because he hasn't played that well, but I think that's because he's just not a winger. He's a striker. Let's be honest with him. He is a striker. That is the perfect position for him. Knocks the ball past opponents. He's got the holy trinity in terms of dribbling, finishing, first touch. Good technique off the ball. He's got all of the beautiful stats that you want up front. I think I've just been playing him horrendously out of position. I really think that's what it is. That's why he was a 6.4. But as you can see, he's getting assists and goals. I'm going to start playing him up front. But as you can see, injured, light training, played a match, injured again. So I'm playing Verdun as an advanced playmaker because he's got the passing and he's got the vision. He gets forward whenever possible and rises late into the opposition area, which is what I think is perfect for that advanced playmaker role in terms of how I want him to be hanging outside the box, while at the same time in a position to be able to arrive late for O'Connor or Kavanagh's passes. Ward, I just don't want Ward doing much with it. I'm playing with run of defense because I find that I have one of the most creative, one of the most technically gifted teams. Actually, I have the best passing. Fucking dribble less. What the hell am I doing? I have the best passing in the league. I also have the best dribbling. God, what do? You know what you do? You pick neither of them and you trust them. They are adults, except the ones that aren't, the people who are teenagers. You just trust them to do a job. That's really how this works. But in terms of like, look, Joe Doyle, he's a second string player and he has the second highest number of goals. He has earned his shot, like I've just waxed lyrically about already. Tourish, okay, we're gonna let this happen. So let's get on to the FA Cup third round. Actually, before we get into the game proper, I want to show you how we're getting on the FA Trophy as well. So far in terms, let's go into the tree and let's find me. Here we go, York City. This was a good game because York are a National League side and they're not a bad National League side. They're sitting up there kind of around 6th place. Oh, 8th place now. So like I say you can, I'm the manager here. If I can beat mid-table National League teams, then I think there's a reasonably good chance that I should expect myself to get into that National League. Although in terms of how the National League North is going, Scunthorpe, God love them. Absolute success story. Started off near the bottom. They're just climbing their way back up. If Scunthorpe get into the playoffs, I'm terrified that I might have to face them or Scarborough. Like I said, I'm pessimistic as hell about playoffs. I don't like playoffs. I hate the playoff system because they just conspire against you. FMing is a very real phenomenon. We've set up scriptures and support clubs so that we can just like work through the horrible aftermath together. So we all love this game, but we understand what it does to each other, and we should have a little fun set up somewhere to pay the therapy costs of what it's cost us. So let's get into actually playing. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Carlisle. For a moment there, I thought they were championship side. So Carlisle, we kind of got a bit lucky here as well because they're not playing too well in League One either. So kind of it's a little bit of a Fleetwood Mac. It's a little bit of a Fleetwood situation where we're playing a team that isn't really playing well. They haven't had a resurgence. They drew their last game, so similar to ourselves, we're coming into it with a much better form. Like outside of Scunthorpe and Southport, we are scoring goals. We are scoring lots and lots of goals. We are conceding lots of goals, which I'm a bit upset about. The last thing I'll say is Hughes had a bit of a downward form. You can see he was 7.6, 7.1, but then he went into the 6s and he just started playing really badly. And I then had Gorleston and Fleetwood. That was 2 cup games in a row. And Horgan played really well in those. So I decided, all right, Horgan, you are now my first choice keeper and Hughes is my second choice cup goalkeeper. So the last time Hughes went out for us was against York in the FA Trophy and he had a 7.5, so he did a decent performance. But in terms of the actual players, you can see even here, Horgan is on top. And now if we go into a straight up comparison with Horgan, you can see Horgan in the blue, he's just a much better goalkeeper, all-rounder. 8, yeah, Horgan is the one on the right. 10, 9, 11, just in terms of average attributes, Horgan's the better goalkeeper. That's just the way it worked out. But Hughes, I'd probably sell him for something decent because he has more potential. He has the better potential between the two. But look, Hughes is who we're going with between the 6 for this one. Boston, Allerton, Jesus. Okay, so no, I'm happy with balanced for now. I don't want to drop deeper. I'm playing with an incredibly aggressive line. Am I? No, I'm not. Oh yeah, either FM is just getting rid of the settings, or so what's my trigger press on fluid? That's fine. Mentality, passing style. I am moving from, actually we want to bring this down to the middle so that we can have a bit more competency in our width. Accomplished passing style. I'm going for more direct. I usually play on shorter, so look, the familiarity with the passing style is going to be down, but look, we're just going to cope with that and we're going to deal with it. And I have the options in here to move Verdun into a supporting striker role if I need to, and have Connolly and Sullivan. Connolly playing as a deep line playmaker and Sullivan playing as a ball winning midfielder. So we have options to make this work if we need to. So I guess we get going. Denver's isn't fit yet, and Coffee, because Gamble, is that his name? No, who actually is playing? It's Gamble. What is going on? Is it Walsh? Okay, yeah, it's Wall. Wall is going on the bench. Okay, so let's get cracking. Submit team, go to team meeting. the match report, however this works. Tomas Holly. Okay, do it for the assistant. Okay, match preview. It looks so gorgeous. I love this. So we're not at home anyway. How y'all been finding the new match engine? Actually, I really like it. I think it's so fluid. So skip, and I'm playing on. We'll play on key highlights. Actually, no, I'm going to play on extended because this is a relatively new system. Nope, I don't want any of that. So encourage, boys. Okay, so 2 at the back system. Barkley coming along the right hand side. Able to, what was the name? Lavelle. Okay. Five minutes in, we've had a corner, not too bad. All of our attacks have been on their left-hand side, which I'm okay with. Oh, come on. Attacking corner Connolly. He puts in decent balls. Connolly goes in. Come on. Ah, no. Sullivan. Chambers gets this away, but Kavanagh has this. Pull this along the right-hand side, can you? Finnerty. Go on. Delap. Ah, oh, what are you doing, Delap? What are you doing? Doyle with a 6.6. Concerning and worrying me somewhat and slightly. Ward coming down. Okay, so I'm immediately moving you away from a playmaker. You need to be a supporting deep lying playmaker. No, you need to be an advanced forward and you need to get onto the end of balls. That's what you need to do. All right. So we just need to believe. That's really how this works. We just need to believe. Come on, Connolly. Bring that ball in. And Sullivan, yes! 1-0. Sullivan bangs it from the far post. Really good commanding header. I love the fact that the players are now striking the ball with their heads into the ground. It just looks so much more realistic. And you end up with this sense of where the play just looks a lot more broken. I wonder if you ever had this feeling. Did that goalkeeper just... Oh, I'd hate to be Carlisle right now. You just lost your goalkeeper to an injury. I wonder, did they bring a reserve goalkeeper? Why can't I pick that? All right. Delap is coming here. Schedule. Carlisle. Who are you? You're an Irish player, actually. Oh, you're not bad. Can't scout you. Add you to the shortlist. Add you to the Irish long list indefinitely. Okay. And you're on loan. I don't see another goalkeeper in here. So I think they're after getting incredibly unlucky and they've had to bring on an outfielder to go and goal. Sucks to be them, I guess. So we're going to shoot on sight. That's what we're going to do. All right. So Kavanagh, go on to Verdun. Verdun bringing this close. Goalkeeper, Breeze, fair enough. Comes and claims that. Go on, Kavanagh, you got that. Finnerty to Verdun. Verdun playing that playmaker role. Last. And just controller at the back. And Sullivan making himself available over to Kavanagh. Kavanagh brings into Verdun. Verdun, what you going to do? Make something happen. Bring this down the wing for Delap. Into Kavanagh. Kavanagh for Delap. Go on, Delap. Strike. Oh, beautiful. Just gives everybody the eyes. Makes them believe he's going to cover him. Cross. But instead he just runs a beautiful line. Strikes it past. Across the goalkeeper into that far post. Exactly what you're taught to do in striker training school. Goalkeepers, if you're a goalkeeper, you understand this. When a ball gets struck across you to your bad side, that sucks. That, like I'm a right-handed keeper, left-footed keeper for whatever reason. So I was more comfortable kind of like saving my feet on my left-hand side, but it came to my hands, my right-hand side. Jesus. So if a ball kind of came at an awkward angle across me onto my left-hand side, so hard to deal with that. So 2-0, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we're outscoring our XG, but we're restricting their available shots. They haven't had the chance to score. So Breeze, let me just double check again in terms of who is Breeze, because I don't see him anywhere here. I don't actually see a player called Breeze at all. I don't know what happened there. All right, into the dressing room. You're doing brilliantly. No, it's exactly what it is. And then praise them. Go on, O'Connor. Plays back to Last. Last into Sullivan. And Sullivan just clenches to Verdun. Verdun's playing well, although he's on a 6.6. You know what, Doyle, Delap can come down here because Delap can play fucking everywhere. Delap is just one of those players. He can play he is my most versatile player. I love this kid with an absolute passion. So Doyle's going to come onto that wing because I just find he's just a far better option on that wing. Okay. Go on, we'll float them. Okay. Butterworth coming on. Finnerty for Barker. Okay, let's have a look what's happening here. Finnerty. There's some legs in the other end. I'm going to bring Tours on for Last because Last just isn't having a decent game. Doyle. And we're going to bring, what's his name, McNamee over here into that role. No, actually, Heaney. Jesus, what am I doing? Heaney's much better in that role. And then we'll keep him as a support role. Okay. One Kavanagh brings over to Delap. Delap. Going to cross this in for Verdun. Heaney. Heaney, go on, Ward. He's 5'9". He's not going to win that battle. And Gibson brings this forward. Being closed down by Sullivan. Sullivan gets a leg in. Connolly, come over. Ward, bring over to Healy. Healy, what you going to do with it? Healy brings it through the midfield. Go on, Connolly. Going to shoot. What are you doing? Kavanagh. Over to Heaney. Finnerty. Controls in the midfield. Ward comes in for Tourish. O'Connor with acres of space on the left-hand side. Brings over to Connolly. Go on, Connolly. What you going to do with it? Over to Ward. Ward on the inside. Nah, he's not able to do anything with it. But Finnerty cleans up and brings it back to Heaney. Heaney over to Kavanagh. Kavanagh through the middle for Delap and Verdun to run on to. Go on, Delap. You can clean this up. Cross it in for Verdun. Go on, Ward. For the last while, I'm going to experiment with having you playing as a target man. And who else? O'Connor. We're going to bring O'Sullivan. And is this? It's 5. I love this. It's 5 midfielders. So what am I going to do with you? Connolly. So Malloy going to come on for Connolly. And Kavanagh's playing well. Ward is playing well. Meany will come on for Ward. So we're going to bring you to an inside forward attack. Okay. Delap from Meany. So O'Sullivan over to Malloy. O'Sullivan in. You just wallop that in the volley. Brings it back for O'Sullivan. Tourish brings it over to Kavanagh. Kavanagh on that right hand side. Sullivan cleans up. And we're just toying with them now. Kavanagh on that right hand side. Trying to work an opening over to Heaney. Heaney's bringing this down the half space over to Verdun. Molly. Meany. Beautiful. Second half substitute makes it 3-0, all but confirms the cup win. We're through to the 4th round. That's when it gets interesting because that's when the Premier League teams come into this. So Heaney bringing this forward over to Verdun. Verdun not quite able to do anything with it, but Meany cleans up on that left-hand side, just comes in with his right-hand side, comes in with his right foot and just bangs it home. Okay. No substitutes left. Go on, Verdun. Whip this in for either Tourish. O'Sullivan, not able to do anything with it with Butterfield. Go on, Heaney, over to Malloy. Malloy over to Meany. What are you doing, Meany? I mean, secures the corner out of that, but that was ambitious. So go on, Verdun. Whip this in for us. Kavanagh, not able to do anything with it, but Delap's going to bring this over back to Verdun. Verdun, can you... Oh, Jesus, that was... Go on, Verdun! Can't do anything with it. So Verdun went from a 6.6 to a 6.7 when he was on that target man role. And I find he's getting into the game a bit more. Cross for Sullivan. No. Thank God. Sullivan didn't do well with that. He gave an opportunity, but Hughes was equal to it. 4 minutes of extra time. I think we got the winning of this. I say we think we got the winning of this. We can get a clean sheet because Hughes is starving for a clean sheet. Go on, Sullivan. Get it out of there. Well done. Beautiful, beautiful. We got him in on loan from Cove Ramblers and I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep you on. So we're through to the 4th round. That was an excellent performance by the lads. So that core midfield did really well against League One opposition. So this team is a good team, and Heaney, I think Verdon is just straight up into that target man role, and Heaney can come in for that advanced playmaker role. I think that's how that's going to work out now. And we'll figure out what's going on with Delap, because once Danvers comes back, I want Danvers playing in that right-hand side. All right. So that was a really good win. Going to continue. We're still sitting there pretty. So probably what's going to happen is I'm not going to come back for the Halifax game, the FA Cup 4th round. I might come back for the FA Cup. We'll see what happens. Once I get the youth intake, I'm definitely doing a video for the youth intake, because the youth intake is basically going to populate my under-19s team, which are doing okay. They've won some games. We're sat at the bottom, and here's the case. We just need to be better than Cove. We don't need to be the best team in the league. We just need to be better than Cove or Bray. That's how that works. But anyway, look, once that youth intake comes, we get to flesh out the team somewhat. We get to figure out who is going to be fast-tracked into our reserve teams, and then get some first-team football, get that competitive flair in the Irish First Division, so that we can figure out who's actually just favourites with the coaches versus who actually has, a bit of talent in them to be able to actually keep going with this one. But in the meantime, friends, thank you for 31 minutes. I'm only have to spot in the time now. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Talk to you, lads.